Hey, good evening, everyone, and happy Sunday night, and welcome to Navigating Leadership number 34. We are here tonight with a panel of principals from across the country to discuss items that are germane to the job that we do each and every day. My name is Dean Packard, and I'm the proud principal of Charlton Middle School in Charlton, Massachusetts. And alongside of me, as I always have, my good friend and co-host of Unlock the Middle, Principal Chris Starcheski from Dudley Middle School. Chris, how are you Sunday night? That only means one thing, that we're coming together to get better at what we do.
Loving it, Dean. You know, we started out this morning together on Webster Lake Chargagagog, Chagagog, Shabunagungamog. And I had the good fortune of catching the most and I think the biggest fish.
Yeah, you did.
But hey, you know what? We've got some great fish in our pond tonight, Dean. We're going to learn a heck of a lot as we start talking about, what it takes to model resiliency, starting up the school year to this point. We've got some educators and leaders who are doing that already as we prepare for our opening coming up closer to September. And of course, how do we recharge and prime the pump of being an educator? What's our central purpose? Let's talk about his aspirations for being an educator as we get rolling. But hey, we got a new face on our screen tonight. We've got Michaela Varela. How are you, Michaela? Please let the audience know who you are and what brought you here.
Awesome. I'm great. Thank you for having me here. It's nice to be with a group of colleagues from all over the place. So very nice to see you all and meet you all. I'm a middle school principal in El Paso, Texas. Ornado Middle School is my middle school. I'm in my 7th year at Ornado, and I was also an elementary principal before going up to middle school for 6 years. So.
Outstanding. Well, welcome to the table. We're glad you're here with us tonight, and we want to learn together and get better together. So all good stuff. So let's go around the room right now, because I know that people do recognize our faces from the weekly show, but more importantly, let's know who we are, where we're from, and what we're all about. So let's go over to Jeff. Why don't you start us off?
Thanks, Dean. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Parks. I'm the principal at the Parker Middle School in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, entering year 11. Chris, I got to tell you, your ability to pronounce the name of the lake right off the top like that was absolutely amazing. So, well done. Very, very impressive. Great way to start the show. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Kick it over to Josh.
Greetings, everybody. We're entering Josh Tobad Memorial Pathway Academy here in Garland ISD, ready to start week 3 of our school year. I don't know about you guys in Labor Day, starting after that. What's that all about? It's driving us crazy, but you know what? We're here ready to rock and roll, sharing ideas, because we're all facing the same concerns. We're all facing the same obstacles, and you know what? We're only stronger together.
Thank you, man. Love it. Absolutely. Let's go down to Dr. Houston's coming back for a cameo appearance right with us. So nice to see you again.
Thank you all for having me back. I am Sheikah Houston. I am from South Carolina. We are getting ready to start back tomorrow. First day back to school. So last year was my 5th year as the principal of a middle school, and I'm starting my first year this year as the director of secondary interventions.
Nice. Well, welcome back. We always love having you with us. You know that. Let's go over to Dr. Cook. Good to have you back, sir.
Good to be back. And so my name is Spike Cook. I'm principal at Lakeside Middle School in Millville, New Jersey. And we start back for the students September 7th, right after Labor Day. So, yeah, it seems like we have such a long way to go. And I was saying, like in the pre-show, it's still crazy, though, in August, because August is like one long Sunday night. So you all who started already, well, you probably get done earlier, too. We go to like the middle of June. So looking forward to be on the show with everybody tonight.
Awesome. Great to have you as well. Hey, let's take a look at this. And before we go, just remember that we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, all those places. And if you could, just chime in on the side in the comment section. Tell us who you are, where you're from. If you have any questions or you want to add into the conversation, feel free to do so. We'll definitely pull that up and we'll make it part of what we're trying to do. Again, we're all here together trying to drop the oars in the water and just become better together each and every Sunday night. Chris, kick it over to you.
Yeah, before we jump on in and we hit topic number 1, I just wanted to compliment Spike on the personal professional website that he created. Exceptionally dynamic, truly outstanding, and a great model for all those of us out there who are looking to build our capacity with expressing who we are as educators. Spike, it was unbelievable when I was reviewing your site, man. crazy stuff.
Agreed.
Oh, thank you.
Quite welcome. Well, hey, as we sit down and we think about, the adversity that we all faced over the last 18 months, we talk always with kids about, addressing adversity and being resilient. And we also talk with our educators about that and the importance and necessity of being able to just keep bouncing back. Let's talk a little bit about modeling resiliency. What are some tips and tricks that each of us has relative to the job and the classrooms in our school? Michaela, you're our newest guest. So what do you got out there? Moving from elementary to middle school, I'm sure you've got a tip or two.
Oh, sure. So resiliency, I mean, we all know this. I think kids are more resilient than adults, always. And so a lot of times it's the adults in our buildings that we need to take care of the most as a principal, because that's how we reach the kids, is by making sure our teachers are well taken care of and that they have what they need and feel supported by you as the leader, because that's our direct contact. And so adults don't bounce back from adversity quite as quickly and easily as kids do. Kids, oh my gosh, like we're on week 3 going back into the building, and it's like we had this time warp. I mean, they are doing the kid things that they always used to, get in little arguments about or whatever. It's funny. We're laughing every day at the end of the day because they're doing the normal kid things that we missed last year. And so they're bouncing right back very quickly.
Michaela, we haven't started yet up here in New England. So hearing that just kind of fuels my soul in regards to we know what we have to do, and we know that kids will hit the ground running. So thank you so much just for validating that. Again, I can't wait for the next 2 weeks to go by to have kids in our school. So let's kick it over to Dr. Houston.
Thank you. Last year, when students came back, the mask almost silenced them in a sense. Everyone was so quiet, and that was so unusual for my middle school because they were normally very chatty and happy and excited. So I really wanted to make sure that they saw reasons that other things to focus on. So for my town hall meetings, I was very intentional about showing them messages that were motivational. Even though we're going through all of this with the pandemic, there are still so many other things that could be happening that could be much worse than this. Let's just be thankful that we're here and that we're pressing through. So I showed them during my town hall meetings, just little clips. One of them was Marlina Valentine. And if you're not familiar with her story, it's very motivational, but she has a little clip on, I think it's Soul, one of those sites. I'll put it in the chat. I can't remember it, but she is explaining how as a quadruple amputee, she was still able to carry on. Even after that, she was a school principal and she went back to the school. The children, saw her being resilient. I showed them another video where in, I think it was Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Marcus Jackson, where a lot of the children experienced and the community members, tornadoes and just lots of natural disaster in the middle of the pandemic. So I just tried to show them things that, even though this is going on, we are still able to do school. There's still things to be thankful for, and we can still carry on, with our school and be resilient. So I tried to show them other things that were just motivational and uplifting to keep that, build that up in them, because they really were silenced, and you can just tell that the difference in them returning to school last year.
Love that. That's a great way to get out in front and build them up prior to school starting and getting them going. Good stuff. We do the same thing here too. Dr. Cook, you're up.
Yeah, so along the lines of what Shika and Michaela were saying, I think it does start with the adults. As we all know, I think we all are like big fans of Todd Whitaker, and he always says when the principal gets a cough, or when the principal sneezes, the whole building gets a cough, right? Or a whole building becomes sick. So it's, I think it starts with us as well, being resilient. And, the last 18 months have been really challenging for us as school leaders, to have to go into meetings where you literally don't know everything that's going on or anything that's going on, and you're trying to put up a good face, but I sort of just look at it like we just have to keep showing up, and that's one of the things that I've tried to do through any challenges, adversity, or whatever, is just to keep showing up. And then, building off of what Michaela said, is to really try to work with the staff. Obviously, like we're, as principals, that's our job. Like, we're teachers of the staff. And so we have to, be in tune with our mindfulness and our our ability to connect with others, and our emotional intelligence. How is everyone doing? Because they're going to manifest that in so many different ways. And I also believe there's that great book out there too. There's so many different ideas if you're looking for things, but there's a book called If You Don't Feed the Teachers, They'll Eat the Kids. And it's just all different ideas and things like that you can do to kind of help build that resilience. But no one really does it better than Josh. So I'm hoping that one day he's going to write a book about it. In all seriousness, though, because his resilience in recognizing and working with his teachers and students, it's very infectious, and he talks about it. He is about it. So I don't know if you're going to him next, but I'm telling you, like,
I tell you what, in fairness to Jeff, I won't. I want to go to Jeff first, only because of the fact that Jeff will be able to kick it over to Josh afterwards. But Jeff, looking at your students and your staff, and how do you model that resilience, and what does that look like through your lens?
Yeah, so even right now, I'll give an example of something that I actually did this morning. I recorded about a 90-second video for staff today, just very upbeat, positive, excited about being back, which is how I feel. And I sent them a brief survey, and it was 3 questions. What are you most excited about coming back to school? What makes you nervous or concerned about coming back to school? And what type of support do you think the kids are going to need? And all 3 of them would just, answer a paragraph. No pressure. If you don't want to take the survey, you don't have to, but this is what I want to know. Like, where are you at right now? The response has been great. Got some nice text messages after and things like that. And, I was at about 40 some odd responses when I checked it before we jumped in. But I'm just trying to show, I want to listen to exactly what they're concerned about. I think I know what the concerns are, probably similar to mine. But I feel like for us to be able to model that resiliency, to be able to listen, validate, because I think I feel probably the same way that the majority of them do, and then say, okay, well, here's how I'm going to cope with it. So if I can do it, you certainly can do it. But, much like we're doing right here, right? We're not going to do it alone. So let's get together, let's share ideas, and let's make sure that we're all, up here when the kids come back in a couple of weeks. So that was like a kind of a step in that direction that I took today, and, so far so good.
I love the survey idea with the teachers. I think that's fantastic. And you could take that one step further, do the same thing with the kids. And one of the things that I've done is I'm starting tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day that they can actually access their schedules. So I'll put out that video, that inspirational video showing, we're here for you. But more importantly, I want to know how you're feeling. I want to make sure you're feeling okay. And if there's anything we can get in front of, whether that's tours, whether that's just reaching out with a phone call, talking to parents, just making them feel comfortable, that's something that's on us as leaders to do. And we're all leaders, our whole social emotional team, our student support team. So great stuff, man. Jeff, great, really good to hear. Kick it over to Josh.
Well, I think the resilience part for me, going into week 3, has been the way that now our team members in the classroom have been reacting. They brought in what they learned the last year and a half, and they're getting that whole presentation face-to-face going down. They don't have to worry about a camera. They don't have to worry about face-to-face. And you know what? It's like hand in glove. It's great to see that now they really didn't miss much. And it's outstanding because you know what? They're connecting with the kids. They're creating that culture and that interaction with them. As I walk into the classrooms almost every day, making sure that they see the delivery of instructions happening, they're connecting with them. And a little bit, and not everyone sees this show, but the campus that I work in are brand new kids to the country. So they're brand new kids from Vietnam, from Afghanistan. And it's also kids that are non-traditional, that are not successful at the comprehensive school. So it doesn't matter what part of the program it is, they're totally engaging and the kids are connecting. And you know what we're trying to do is mix together is our theme. And that's the thing about us as principals is we forget the theme by October, by November. And I'm making a purposeful objective to make sure that I address the theme every day. And if you see on our social media site, every day it's going for the gold. That's a thing, obviously connecting it to the Olympics. And every day I'm spotlighting an athlete who either faced adversity and ended up winning something along the way, because that's what our students are. Every student, doesn't matter what it is. We all have a story. Plus, most importantly, all our kids have a purpose. They were born for a reason. And it's our job to make sure that we spotlight that regardless of failures and bumps on the road, it's how they get back up. So right now, our team members have been showing that resilience 100%, and we're just tying it in as a community. In the morning announcements to spotlight that success can happen even after defeat. So it's been a great 3 weeks.
Awesome, Josh.
Let's dig for a second if we can, though, because my mind's just kind of connected with something. You said themes. For all you principals listening out there, how important is it to come out of the gate with a theme? Are your themes per quarter? Are they per month? What do you do with that? And we can kind of dig with that a little bit, because the theme drives the way we send out information and how we support. So let's run with that for a second, Josh. Why don't we go back to you and work it backwards?
I have yet to see, and I'm just, I'm always honest, and it doesn't matter, I don't mean to hurt feelings, but ultimately, I have yet to either be under the leadership of somebody that maintains the theme throughout the year and reminds everybody the purpose of what that theme was. So we always start off strong 3 weeks, and then after, that's it. We forget because we get caught up in the noise. Yep. But I think that it's crucial that as we start in this is a brand new chapter in education. Because we're really not out of this pandemic. We're still in the middle of noise. Here in Texas, we're flip-flopping between county judges and governors. So there's nonstop noise, and I'm pretty sure 30 states are gonna be going through this because of mask, no mask, whatever, shots, no shots. And so it's making sure that whatever your theme is, that you're consistent. And your chair is the one that provides the culture. Your chair is the one that provides the climate and what the vision will be for the whole year. And being true to that vision and people believing in you. Because as we're going through, again, rough waters, as we're coming through all this going on, as leaders of the campus, we need to make sure that we remind people, this is the focus. You need to be resilient on what the outcome is. And what's the outcome? Student success. But it can't happen without us working together as one unit.
Absolutely, Josh. I'm sitting here thinking about the theme. I just had two things to tie into what you said earlier, and then we'll just kind of jump it back around. The first is, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It's that you get back up one more time than you get knocked down. And that's really what we're modeling. I mean, I don't know how many days I had teachers coming into the office or into the school saying, I don't know how the heck you guys are doing it. And you guys, the principals, we're the ones delivering the message. We're the ones, on that front line saying, hey, we were going this direction. Guess what? We got to move this way. I'm right there with you. I have no idea what's around the corner, but we're going there together. The second thing is the theme, right on top of my hat here, be better. It's a simple mantra. And it was by my predecessor, John Pear at Dudley Middle School. He's since passed away since I took over at DMS. But the idea of be better has been something that's been a consistent theme for our school and our program. And what we're really going to be focusing on this year is be blank humans, be better humans, be kind humans, be compassionate humans, be caring humans. And we're going to be really talking about what we can do to change the world in a positive way, trying to empower kids and trying to let them know that they can reach their own potential by helping others reach theirs, and trying to really build in that sense of autonomy, yet resiliency, because everybody has roadblocks to overcome and you can always be better. But hey, let's kick it over there to Jeff. Additional thoughts on that theme and how we enter into this year.
Yeah, thank you. So we've had an ongoing theme for several years, and it's tied to a student recognition program that a group of us started several years ago. But we essentially, Parker Pride is what we go with. And the PRIDE acronym is perseverance, respect, integrity, dedication, and empathy. So those will continue to be our kind of core values. It's vertical throughout the district, but our school really has taken it and run with it over the last 5-6 years, and we have a very strong program. It's tied right to our student leadership program that we have with our 7th and 8th grade ambassadors that we take to get training and all of those things, and really have those kids be out there as the face of the school and they run the tours, and, they meet and greet with parents, just as often as I do. So it's really about showing the community that the kids are the ones that are driving it, and we're really just kind of the lucky ones that get to work there, is how I try to kind of pitch it to people. We don't, and we haven't, perhaps this is something I should be looking at, is maybe, an underlying theme to go along with what we've been doing. But, I'm interested to hear, and I appreciated hearing what some other folks are doing, and I like it very much. So we'll always have this pride umbrella, and that will drive what we do and the culture and climate of the school. But as far as having other, like an underlying theme or a go-to mantra, I think is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Spike.
Yeah, so this is going to be my 11th beginning of the school year. As a principal, I did 5 as an elementary, and now this will be my 6th as middle school. And I've always believed in themes, so we've always had a yearly theme. Most of the time, it was just chosen by staff. Sometimes I just would throw it out there. This year, we actually had the students involved in it. They voted for it. Staff could vote as well. So like our yearly theme, this one is grow through what you go through. And then just like everybody else said, we try to, tie it into the different things that are going on. So that will be the mantra for the year. It'll be the things that are on the t-shirts and, in the bulletin boards and things like that. So it does drive the year, and it just kind of helps everybody to have a focus.
Awesome. Absolutely. That focus is key, and that centralized, community feel. Everybody's pulling together, and everybody can hold one another accountable. Absolutely essential. Sheikha.
Yes. What I would usually do in the staff, our theme was greatness. What we noticed in speaking with students, a lot of them didn't see greatness in themselves when you would ask them, what they see when they saw themselves, and just in conversation, you would hear that some of that wasn't there. So I would always end each message with CMS, I see you, what do you see? And I would tell them your answer should always be greatness, because I felt like if we told them enough, they would start to believe it. And then I didn't have to say it as the year went on, that it would start clicking in and they would just say it.
That's it. The ownership and that embracing of that culture and climate. It might start with us in the chair, Josh, but once the kids start driving it, it becomes alive. Michaela, round us out here.
Well, yes, we have a theme every year, and every year is a different theme. Sometimes I just come up with it with my leadership team, and other times, I'm searching and asking colleagues and looking for ideas. But this year's kind of came to me just as I was reflecting on a trip home. And so our theme this year is the best is yet to come. It's just, moving past last year, positivity, all about having hope, moving, up through adversity. And so that was our theme to open the year, and we'll carry it throughout the year. Our academic leaders have decorated our PLC room with that theme. The words are huge. And so it's just going to be an ongoing, lift of positivity for everyone to always think that way, that the best is yet to come. There's always something better ahead.
Let me just chime in if I could, Chris. I love that, because you know what? And one of the things that is kind of resonating in my mind right now is empowering the students to come up with themes as well, being part of that process. There's no greater power than that, because that just kind of moves the ship forward very quickly. At Charlton Middle School, we're looking at 2 things. We have hashtag CMS family. Everyone in the building is about being in a family. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher, custodian, cafeteria worker, a student, a parent. That is the family. We're all together. We support one another. But I also like looking at it this way: every student, every day. You can't deny that, because no matter what it is, you're there for every student that walks in your door. And if you all agree to that, great things will happen. And again, that just takes all the mystery out of what we do.
100%. You know, no matter what the hashtag is for your school, no matter what the theme is, it's all about your identity as a learning community. And as I love the family mantra, Dean. Listen, folks show up at 7:10 and they leave at 2:20. But the reality is that we go through more family experiences than we do educational and professional experiences.
Chris, who leaves at 2:10 or 2:30? I don't know what that is, man.
The kids.
That's not this job. I think everybody that subscribes to education today, they're there for, it's almost 24/7. You got to tell them to turn off. You know that.
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely 24/7. I'm talking about the actual school day hours, Dean, not the work that goes into it. You guys get that. But hey, there are three members of the screen here who have gone through an opening this year in a more traditional sense, I guess, than we've gone through in the past year. Dr. Houston, what advice would you give to those of us who have yet to begin the school year based on your opening experience?
Well, we open tomorrow, but everyone is pretty, and even as a parent myself, I have two daughters. They're in elementary school, second and fourth grades. So it's, even though it's a new year, we're still kind of, like Josh said, in the middle of this pandemic. We're going through the mask, no mask. Here in South Carolina, the legislature actually put in a proviso that would remove funding from schools if we try to enforce masks. So, so like you said, it's like a battle now. And I really feel bad for a lot of the parents. One parent I saw posted that she was really anxious because when she went to meet the teacher, she's a parent that believes in masks and is going to send her child to school in a mask. But when she got there, the desks were in groups and the teacher didn't have on a mask. And she said she felt like her daughter would feel pressured not to wear a mask. So just have conversations as parents with your children about what your home beliefs are about safety. And for educators, just be cognizant of the fact that everyone doesn't share the same beliefs. It's almost like religion. Everyone is bringing what their beliefs are about this to the table, and they should be respected by everyone. So that would be my advice. And make everyone feel comfortable, the children, the parents, to the best of your ability. One thing that we're doing in our district, we did remove the plexiglass from the classrooms just because they were so encumbersome where the teachers couldn't move around them. So if students request it, or if parents feel more comfortable with their children sitting behind plexiglass, it will be placed back in for those that desire it. So I think that just trying to be mindful that everyone doesn't have the same beliefs, everyone has a different comfort level, and just trying to work with that as much as possible would be my best advice.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Forgive me for making a mistake about you not having started yet. You're further along than we are for sure. But Josh, you've been at it now for a couple of weeks. Any additional tips beyond Dr. Houston's?
I think it's exactly what Shika says, just that we have specific dynamics. Like Micaela and myself, we're both in Texas, but her ISD is different than ours because of our county judge. So I don't get into politics, especially in the chair that I sit in, but I just want to make sure that we conform to whatever the rules of our ISD is. So just like Shika just stated, we've gone from mask, everyone either wearing masks or not optional, to making them wear masks. And then, just like you said, Shika, now we're into plexiglass. 3 days ago, we had to put all the plexiglass back up again. So it is what it is. We got to deal with it because we've been here before. We know this story, but it's about the faith that our community has. Nuestra familia. Do they believe in our leadership to say, hey, you know what, let's work together? And I love what Shika just said right now. Respect everybody else, but within the norms of whatever the rules are. Because whenever the kids came back for us, 3/4 of them had their mask on. They came into school with it. And then the other quarter just walked around without it. And most of the teachers also without it. But once it became a requirement per our ISD, because of the county judge in Dallas, then we conform to those rules. But you know what? We made everyone feel comfortable. The second that I heard about it, and you know how we have those mass texts from people from central office, we all have those. The second I got it, I got on the PA system and said, hey guys, just so you all know, starting tomorrow, I expect everybody to come here with masks. And everyone showed up with it. I had no issues because you know what? It's that culture that we've established there to work together as one cohesive unit. So it is what it is. Hey, leaders, we all decided to sit in this chair. Sir Giovanni never taught us about this chapter about a pandemic, but you know what? We've been through this before. We just got to be stronger together.
I love that. How about Michaela? I know that you've already started as well. Let's hear from you.
So we're starting week 3, and I have a large middle school. We have close to 1,300 students, and so there is no possible way to social distance like we did last year when we had more than half our kids at home. So the classrooms are full again, and so we do have procedures like you all are aware of that we'll be following. I feel like we're becoming professional contact tracers. We have, according to our current protocol, if there's a positive student, and we had 2 last week too, we have to contact trace, and anyone that sits within a 6-foot circle of that positive student has to be quarantined. And so there's some tough conversations going on with families where their perfectly healthy child is being sent home for 10 days. And some are perfectly fine and understand that they need to do that. And others don't agree with it because it doesn't match what our state recommended, what TEA recommended. And then we have our local procedures, which are different. So it's navigating all kinds of things. Like Josh was saying also, going from one recommendation to another and switching very quickly. Our governor said we cannot require masks, but half my kids wear them and half don't. And so it's, personal choice, personal responsibility right now. And so my kids have been awesome about not, there is no mask shaming going on at my school. The kids are wonderful. There's a level of respect for kids that have their masks on and those that choose not to. So that piece has been working really well. But, all of this politics about school districts not listening to the governor's mandate, that's a very, very slippery slope because, if we don't have to listen to our governor, what makes people think they're going to then turn around and listen to the school board if they say something different? So I don't think something we should be teaching our kids, but that's just me. There's all kinds of emotions around all of this. And I live in and work in a community where every single, and you probably do also, we have those very, very cautious, afraid still to go to school, and their families are afraid. And then we have those who are like, open the doors, we're ready. We've taken, there's some that have vaccines, some that don't. It's something that's going to still be, it's evident in these first 2 weeks, a big piece of this school year. As much as we want normal, and we're looking forward to that, but there's still COVID cloud lingering over us, but we're going to be as positive about it as we can as we move forward.
Teaching respect, and that's just the number one thing we need to do as leaders, and making sure we get out in front of that and help our staff understand to do the exact same thing. Again, we are a smorgasbord of everybody, and they're all over the place on their feelings on all of this stuff. I would rather err on the side of caution and say, wear your mask. Honest to God, think about it for a second. That's a small concession to have a normal school day. Okay, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about, okay, do I have to have lunches in 2 areas? Do I have to move a gym class out because we can't have kids sitting across from one another? At the end of the day, when we're moving forward, we have an obligation to do so, but we also have an obligation to ensure that people feel comfortable, they feel heard, and are respected. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Hey, this is a good point right now, and I just want to throw this out there. This is a question we didn't talk about in the pregame, and everybody's got to answer this right now. If you had to tell your students, and I know some of you have already started school right now, I want you to think about what you would tell your students to start the school year and how you're going to be there to support them as the leader of the building. What would you say to them? What would it be like? What would the message be? And I'm going to step away from it because I know what my message is. And we're going to go right over to, we're going to start off with Michaela. She's already started, but I want to know what you told your students coming into this year.
We told them we're here for you, and I say we because I speak in we's all the time. I don't say I very much, and so we are here for you. Whatever you need from us, we are here, and we realize that some are nervous and anxious, and some are excited, and so that is just kind of a message that all of our team is saying to all of the kids everywhere in the cafeteria, in the hallways. We greet them with smiles. I'm not wearing my mask because I want them to see my smile. So that was something that was hard for me last year, wearing it all year long, because you can't see it. And I smile all the time. So I'm smiling at them when they walk in the morning, and they, I don't know, you feel it. It's just a much, much happier, just from last spring when half the kids were back to this fall when everyone's back. It feels really good.
Nice. Spike.
Yeah. So, I mean, sitting here thinking about like school opening tomorrow for some of you, or week, whatever, it's still like, I keep looking at the calendar because I'm like, oof, wait, I still have a few more weeks. But yeah, so it's something that I think about a lot, Dean, is like, what is the message? We've done a lot of work. I shared it in previous shows about our climate and culture. So our focus is all 100% going to be on our climate and culture, looking at the theme and our mission, vision, and our goals. And it's going to, like, as much as we can, it's going to be getting back to business as usual. In New Jersey, we do a lot of work with the data. So the data sort of determines where we're at, 6 feet, 3 feet, all that kind of stuff. And that is stuff that's out of our, it's out of our control. There are a lot of detractors on both sides. It's a super political thing. So the message to the staff is to, keep your, personal beliefs aside, that we have to be a family. We have to we can argue, behind closed doors or disagree or whatever it is, because a lot of that happens, whether or not we're open, whether we're closed, all that kind of stuff. So the message to the staff is, we have to have one voice. We have to be, focused. And then to the students, it's back to business. We're so glad that you're back, and this is a very difficult time, but we're going to get through it. And kind of like Michaela said, like just using a lot of we. I think that's really important. I've never been an I person.
Good stuff, Dr. Houston.
Thank you. Tomorrow, I'll be going out to all of the secondary schools that I support, letting them know that this year we are going to be breaking barriers and building futures. That is our theme from our superintendent this year. So that's the goal, and that's the plan for this year. And I will. This will be my first time being able to go see my last year 8th graders that are rising 9th graders. So I know they'll be excited to see me at the high school. I'll get to see them and see how they're doing at the school. So just going around to let everyone know, just like Michaela said, we are here for you in the district, the leaders, letting them know that, the staff, we're all here for you, and anything that anyone needs, that's what we're there to do, is to support everyone.
Jeff, you're up.
So I'll continue to, just be super enthusiastic and excited to have the kids back, just to remind them, look how far you've come, right? We're moving in the right direction. And what I've been kind of saying to the families I've run into, staff members I've been interacting with, is this is going to be regular school with a mask. All right. We're moving in the right direction. Our district in Massachusetts right now, it's, as you know, Dean and Chris, local control. So school committees have the ability to dictate what we're going to do. So ours has come out and said K to 12, all students and staff wear a mask indoors, optional outdoors. Very clear cut, very easy to follow for all of us. So just keep modeling that and remind the kids, it's okay. You have a mask on, but we're going to make the most of it. Let's go, right? We're here to get back to the fun stuff, the reasons why we all like coming to school every day. And one thing that I was thinking about while some of the other folks were talking, not only do we have all of our 5th graders coming in for the very first time, but I have almost 100 6th graders who chose fully remote as 5th graders last year, right? So, to think about, we have a huge portion of our school, nearly half of the kids that haven't even been in the building yet, right? Some of them have a year under their belt, haven't even been in the building yet. So to really make sure that we, dial it up and don't miss anybody when they are coming into the building, and and making sure that we're doing the best we can, the best job we can to connect with everybody when they come back. So.
Love the passion, man. And that's going to lead you right where you want to be. Josh, I'm coming to you next.
It's been I've not disconnected from them since the end of last year. So I've been writing them letters. I've been letting them know that we're waiting for them. So all the kids that rolled over to the next year, they all got a couple of letters from me. Some were handwritten, some were general typed out. But I think that I like spending that quality time of putting pen to paper and writing them each notes, letting them know this is what you could expect from us, and just making that connection that it's not just a 1 year thing. That's what we do. That's who we are at MPA. What we are is we're here for you and connect with you, making sure that you understand that when you come here, eres una familia, estamos juntos, and we're going to work together to make sure that the best is yet to come.
It's a journey, man. And I love that. You're absolutely correct. You're not reinventing. You're refining each year and becoming better, which is great. And I look forward to tomorrow because I'm going to start my email barrage to the kids, my videos, all the things that I need to do to get out in front, my surveys, set up the student support team, the fears, what makes you anxious? What are you excited about? That stuff is what we do. And again, we get out in front of that. It's a win-win for all of us. So I'll be letting them know I'll be there the first day. I'll be the first person that'll meet them when they get off the bus or get out of the car in the morning, and I'll be the last person to see them when they go, and they know that they can see me anytime they need to. Chris, kick it over to you.
Yeah, not a lot to add after this. It's kind of easy to be at the tail end of this expert crew. All of the above, and whether you love them or hate them, Bill Belichick about a week and a half ago when it was downpouring out, a reporter asked him what it was like to practice in the rain, and his response was simple, something along the lines of this. Not a perfect quote, but if it rains, you get wet. If it snows, you get cold. If it's hot, you sweat. But at the end of the day, you got a job to do. Just got to do it well. And that's the end of the discussion. And that's his response to those reporters. But I'll tell you that the message is true. Do your job when you walk through the front door to when you leave. And if you need help doing it, don't be afraid to ask, because we all have one another's backs. I'm going to learn from the kids. I'm going to learn from the teachers. Hopefully they're going to all learn from me and from one another. And at the end of the day, it's about that community. It's about that fostering that belief in self, but stronger, that we are better together. And that's really the ultimate goal.
All right. Swing the pendulum, baby. Take us home. This is where your forte is.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, listen, we talked a heck of a lot tonight about different ideas. And, as we know, there are members of administration, educational leaders around the country who have been going through a tremendous amount of preparatory work to enter into a school year. There are some of us on the screen who have done it already, done it exceptionally well. There are a lot of us who are sitting back and watching. And Dr. Houston, we are with you tomorrow in spirit as you enter into day one. But the bottom line is this: our platform was created on the idea of becoming better and becoming stronger together, to be learners, to also be advocates for what's right, and to not take for granted what it is that we do. Jeff, Josh, Michaela, Spike, Shika, Dean, thanks so much for tonight. Sharing with us your beliefs, your expert opinions, and your ideas, because I tell you, I wrote down, it's only a note card today. It's all the paper I had at this spot, but I got to tell you, I have new ideas. And those of you out there in the audience, thank you for chiming in. We really appreciate the comments. We really appreciate the questions. And most importantly, we really appreciate the follows, because you just might be next on our guest list. Hey, be well, everybody. We got to take it home now. Folks who are on the screen, please hang out for a couple minutes after we drop our live feed. Be well, enjoy your Sunday night, and as always, keep on.